Good evening and welcome to Entity Voices Paranormal Evidence. I'm Tony Rathman.
And I am Cherie. How are you guys?
Chris Allgood.
And Audrey Keeler. How's everybody?
And tonight we have a very special guest. Kd Foreman is joining us tonight that we're going to take a look at her past experience in the paranormal and some great captures she sent over to us to take a look at. Kd Foreman is founder and lead investigator at ParaZona Research, as well as founder and lead investigator of the Para Research Organization. She is a medium, an empath, and intuitive at Sky Songs Mediumship. So welcome, Kd.
Welcome.
Welcome, Kd.
Thank you.
This is fantastic. This is going to be a great show. But before we get into the show, one of our personal friends and who we consider part of the Entity Voices team, Joe Thompson, we found out yesterday is in the hospital. I don't want to go into any specific details, but he's got kind of a serious situation that he's working through. So anybody out there who knows Joe, send him a prayer or two. We're hoping for a fast recovery and a quick and painless recovery for him, and that he'll be back on his feet and back with us as good as new. So if anyone who knows Joe, or even if you don't know Joe, if you'd be willing to do that, we'd greatly appreciate it.
We love you, Joe.
Yeah, Joe.
Love you, Joe.
Hoping you're back on your feet soon.
Right.
All right. So with that said, let's go back to Kd. And like I was saying, Kd gave some great evidence clips that we're going to review tonight and show our audience. But Kd, why don't you give us a little background about how you got involved in the paranormal? How did that happen?
Okay, so there I was. I was about 14, 15, babysitting at a house, and all kinds of crazy things were going on. It was your typical Victorian house, electronic things happening. One of my favorite stories is the kids were only 3 and 4, and they wanted me to put in the player piano music roll of paper, and we couldn't find it, and the piano was empty, so I put them to bed. And an hour later, I heard the piano playing upstairs. I thought, those kids, darn it, went up there, and they were in bed asleep. And I thought, well, they're too young to be sneaky, aren't they? And I went down the hallway, music still playing, walked in, music stopped, but the roller bar area was completely empty. There's no way any sound could be coming out from the piano. Wow. And so from that moment forward, it was kind of like, what?
Wow. Yeah, that would definitely raise some eyebrows as to how that was occurring, but we know how things like that can happen. So yeah. So then from there, after that occurred, what'd you do? Did you start your own group? Did you start just investigating on your own? How did you transition into the things you're doing today?
For the long time, I sort of pushed it away because mom and dad said, oh no, that's wrong, that's bad. So I was kind of like, well, I don't think so, but to appease you, I'm just going to shove it all away. And then, being a medium, I would go places and spirits would start giving messages and, I want you to tell her I'm here or something. And I just thought, I just can't keep pushing it away because they keep pounding even louder. So I joined a group 15 years ago, and the very next day, the leader of the group said, I'm stepping down, I'm moving away. Does anybody want to run it? And I thought, I think I can run a group. So grabbed it thinking, I hope I know what I'm doing. And it's history. So
what group is
I'm sorry?
What group?
What group was that?
That was Para out in California.
Okay.
And then ParaZona started a couple of years ago, and running both of them now. Of course, with COVID, it makes it, like there's not a whole lot going to.
Right. Same here. Same here.
And it's very difficult to get the spirits to wear the mask. It just doesn't work.
They just don't listen.
They are non-compliant.
Yes, they are.
It doesn't matter what the governor says.
As funny as that is about spirits wearing masks, but Sheree and I were doing a case that we just got introduced, private home case, and we had made it out, days or maybe 5-6 days before they shut everything down.
Right.
We couldn't go back to finish and close it, and we still feel bad about this. That was back
until now, right? We're supposed to bring Joe with us.
We were all supposed to go back.
We were all supposed to go back. We were supposed to take Joe, and I think that was middle of March or end of March.
Yeah.
And then everything just shut down, and I hope those people are doing okay. I haven't had a chance to follow up, but yeah, the COVID's definitely had a huge impact on being able to help, especially private home investigations, just because of that reason.
We have 2 houses right now that we've been bumping out since June, and with the hope of probably in July we could come out, and then July either the team members or the family goes through a period of not feeling so sure, and I'm not going to send my team members anywhere. Everybody's got their situation where it's not good to get near the germs. Exactly. And then you have the family members suddenly saying, you're strangers coming in our home. Let's put this off another month. So they've now been all bumped out, one to September and one to October, and hopefully, get out there. And fortunately, both of those houses are not extremely frightened. In fact, one of them's just curious. It's been going on 2 years, and they're just, kind of interested if the little things going on are truly paranormal. The other one is not afraid either. So those situations, I don't feel so badly about us not getting there.
Right. Yeah.
Well, you never know what you're walking into. Like Joe had an investigation set up a couple months ago, and he asked me to tag along because I'm not a medium, but I'm sensitive. I mean, they don't talk to me, but I know where they're at.
Right.
Joe said, "Hey, let's go along so you can help me out a little bit." And a day before the morning we were supposed to go, they messaged Joe and said, "Hey, Joe, my wife's not feeling well. Probably not a good idea to do the investigation." And we found out 4 days later that the whole family tested positive for COVID. So Joe and I would have walked right into the bee's nest,
Wow.
Yeah, that's a huge, huge risk, and it's definitely made handling paranormal situations twice as complicated. I mean, it was hard enough prior, with the variety of variables that we as paranormal investigators have to deal with, but COVID's definitely made it a bigger challenge. So at least that one, they caught it beforehand, warned you, and said not to come, because that could have been absolutely horrible. Not that it isn't still for them, but at least you guys were spared being exposed.
Right.
Well, thank God for abandoned places, because it'll still gives us stuff to do.
Right, because you get itchy to get out there,
Yeah.
Isn't that funny?
Yeah, that you definitely do. Okay, well, with that being said, I would like to get into one of Katie's first clips, and this first clip is titled White House, and I think this is about little over 3 minutes long, but great clip. Katie, you want to give kind of an intro as to what this clip is about?
Okay, so there's a restaurant that used to be a doctor's home in around 1915-ish, 1920, turned into a real fancy restaurant now. And he performed illegal abortions there, as well as a child was hit by a vehicle out front when vehicles were sort of new and people weren't expecting them on the road, and was rushed inside and passed away, and whatever history else went on there. So we got permission to investigate there a couple of times. And there's often children heard there, always EVPs. I've met up with a couple of women that were sad and looking for their lost children because they had gone there for illegal medical help. So this particular night was very active, and we think we might have caught a child hopping or moving around in the hallway on the video, as well as some voices and stuff.
Yeah, it's a great clip. Let me play that for our audience, and then we can come back and discuss it further. So here comes that clip.
Have you seen it? No, not me, but let's do it together. There's been a couple people who have seen it.
Millie, can you hear me? Yes. Okay. Millie, can you hear me? Yes. Okay. Quarter? Woman. I heard it say woman.
Okay, that was absolutely
Incredible.
fascinating.
Yeah, I hope our audience is
Incredible.
watching right now.
Did that all happen in one night of investigating?
Yes, it did. That's my flying brick.
That's incredible, Katie. I mean,
It's amazing.
You have to tell us again where that location is, because that is just a phenomenal location.
It's in Southern California, Orange County, in Anaheim. You know, the city where Disneyland is.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a fancy restaurant that used to be a doctor's house. And what's really interesting is the place unfortunately caught on fire maybe 2 years ago, 3 years ago.
Oh, no.
Yeah, and I mean, it burned half of it down, and it had to be shut down for 10 months.
Wow.
And the manager wanted us to rush out when it was rebuilt to find out if the spirits were still there, because a medium had told them, oh, they're all gone now. You know, they left with the fire. And it's like, no, they did
But
not.
it doesn't usually work that way.
Yeah, they're there going, fire. We wanted to know, are they going to say fire to us? Are they going to be conscious and aware and stuff? So, so yeah, that video, so much was going on that night. And
Were you able to go back?
yeah, we were just for a short amount of time, though, because they had a wedding run late there. So it cut into, yeah, so we were in the parking lot 2 hours waiting to get in. Like, let us into the reception at least.
That's what I just keep saying.
I have to rewatch it again later after this.
Yeah, I mean,
So what was phenomenal about that clip is you get the little girl singing,
Yeah.
and then that apparition that peeks around the corner. If you look at the chair in the video, that apparition's only a little bit taller than that chair, so it makes you wonder if that's the little girl singing that you caught peeking around the corner.
Yeah, we've probably been there a total of 5 times, and getting kid voices is always sort of a given. I've only heard 2 women audibly there. They were coming down the hallway, and everyone was upstairs. I was the only one downstairs, and they said, I think she's in here. And I thought, oh, what team member is that? They're women, but I don't recognize who that is. And I looked out of the room. I was right at the doorway. I looked out immediately, and there was no one there. So, of course, I go upstairs and see where everybody is, and everyone's upstairs. And so I heard that out loud. But usually it's just a mess of EVPs there with the children and the other people that you pick up.
yeah, I mean, that's incredible. You know, when you said and drew the arrow and said, watch the first the orb comes down the stairs. If you watch the light at the top of the stairs in the doorway, something crosses that path. You can see every bit of that light get dimmed out for a second and then come back as if something crossed that path.
What's interesting is downstairs, it's a restaurant, but it's the layout is like an 1890 home built in the 1900 or whatever. And so there is what used to be a bedroom downstairs. No, his surgery room downstairs is sort of a room they would walk you into. There's 5 tables in there. And so when you're dining in sections of the house. It's all kind of cleared out to have a restaurant feel. But that one room in the back area is his surgery room. And who knows what took place in there. And there's always spirits in there talking. A lot of them in that room are not conscious of us. Around the rest of the house they are, but in that room it's kind of like you're picking up a residual or something.
Oh, wow.
Sure.
That's amazing.
Wow. Absolutely incredible. But just to catch all those multiple different forms on one investigation, I mean, that's
it's a payoff.
That's incredible location. Okay, so the next one. This one is called Garage Scream.
Okay, a woman moved into a home. It's on a cul-de-sac. There's only 3 houses on the street, her and 2 neighbors, one across and kind of one down. A little bit of distance between each and kind of out in the middle of nowhere, not a lot of outside environmental noises. And she had a lot of activity. She was moving in, putting boxes in the garage, and they were getting knocked around. She put her dog in the house, closed the front door, went out to the car to get boxes, came in, couldn't find the dog. He's in the backyard, but the sliding door's closed. Okay, maybe, I didn't know the door, he got out some other way. Put him back in, made sure he was okay. He's roaming the house freely. went out to the car again, came in, couldn't find the dog, found him in a closet with the door closed.
With the door closed.
With the door closed.
Of course, because he opened it, let himself in, closed it behind him,
Little
locked himself
paws.
in.
Yeah.
Wow.
For a dog.
The spirit that screamed scared the hell out of the dog, so he had to go hide.
He ran. So anyway, she did a little research and found out that there was a murder on that street. That she at the time she couldn't get more details, like which house was it at? Was it in the street? Was it behind a home? Was it in the orange groves? But she had us come out, and so we're in the house investigating. We had the camera in the garage. We don't hear this going on because I don't think it was audible. I'm torn between AVP and EVP. We didn't rush out and say, good golly, where was that scream in the street or anything? We were just kept on researching and investigating the house, only to find out later on there's a scream in the garage.
Wow.
No.
That I'm glad you said that, because that was one of my first questions when I saw it. And of course, most investigators would say, well, you sure somebody didn't run, by the front of the garage outside that was screaming? But the fact that you said you did not hear it while in the house, which it's very loud, so I'm assuming that you would have.
I would think that you would.
Awesome.
Well, also the fact that you say there's orange groves there, that tells you that it's a rural environment. It's not a city, so there's not a lot of traffic outside.
Right.
And the kind of scream that it is, if it's not related to the murder in the area, you would have to think, okay, what would cause someone to scream like that in this particular neighborhood, and it just doesn't connect.
Right.
All right, well, let me play that for our audience, and here it comes now. Okay, that one ended a little quicker than I remembered. I must have cut that one short because my mic was still muted. I apologize, audience, but that was very, very distinct, sort of a blood-curdling scream, like a panic horror type of situation.
Yeah, it's sad. And is it residual? Are they consciously back? Obviously reliving a moment. Is there even an energy there? Is it just a sound loop,
Right.
So who knows?
You would have to think a blood-curdling scream at that loud could almost leave an imprint to where it would be a residual. Yeah.
And so, you could leave a camera in there for a month and maybe catch it 5 times,
Yeah. Wow.
Right.
That's very true. Did the homeowner that called you out, was that maybe one of the things that they complained about, was screams anywhere in the circumstances that they were saying something weird's going on here, or was that just a fluke to have caught that? I'm just curious if they had heard any prior to
No, they had not, and that wasn't part of their story. That was sort of like you're saying, a fluke to the whole situation. Sure. For them, it was more about missing objects, the dog, the poor dog. How would you feel if little Fluffy was in the closet, and he's looking at you like, what,
I feel bad for the dog.
Yeah.
Imagine Loki.
He'd be freaking out.
And she had a teenage son. Unfortunately, it was really targeting him. He was 17, and they were going, in keeping him up at night, talk. We put a camera in there for a couple of days and came back and got it. And they were chattering away at him and calling his name. Not that he responded to all of it, but, And even when he wasn't there, they were saying, "Where is he?" And then they'd give his name. You know, they wanted to know where he was. So
Was he a medium?
no, he was going through some frustrating teenager times. So it may have been his particular energy.
Okay.
Along the same lines, you know, mediums' energies, whatever his energy was attracting them. And so, you know, it's almost on this poltergeist theory where you have hormonal shifts in the house and then activities going up, and you're like, what is spirit and what is someone's personal energy, and, you know,
Right.
and trying to draw that line for them.
Yeah, that's so true, and that can be another challenge within determining where paranormal activities starting from or escalating from or residing in. So yeah,
Right.
totally understand. All right, so that brings us to we've got some amazing EVPs that Kd sent over that we're going to allow our audience to listen to. And the first one I have is from Campo Santo. And I'm not going to say the name of the EVP because I'll give away what they're going to say, and I don't want to do that. But any background story on that, Kd?
Yeah, so that's one of my earliest ones in the paranormal group. It was on a Tuesday, a work day. It was 11 o'clock in the morning. It was in a smaller city park, and I was only me and one team member. And everyone was in school or at work. There were no cars anywhere around, nobody there. And we come across this monument that basically says something to the effect of, this is the original Pioneer Cemetery, and it went into disarray. We've cleaned it up. We took all the headstones out, and they're on display at, you know, such and so historical museum. But hey, we left the bodies in the ground.
Oh, jeez.
Oh, yeah.
And we're like, what? You know?
Oh.
So after we see that, we start talking about what? This was totally unexpected. We were there for a different reason. And as we're walking along, there's just one woman and I, and a third woman chimes in. And
Wow.
Perfect. That's incredible. Well, let me play that for the audience. And here it is.
7th Street. And it's up here. I mean, not here, but up near the Del Rosa area? Yeah. Well, that place is all black.
Yeah, you can definitely hear that. I mean, her voice.
That's very loud.
Yeah, it comes right in between, and you guys noticed it. That,
you know, and you think, why are they saying those words? You know, I mean, they're agreeing, but why are you saying that? You know,
Right.
that's a question with most EVPs that we get. We're always saying, okay, were they speaking to me? Were they
Right.
speaking to each other? What was that in reference to? Who was that in reference to? And
Right.
that's how we did the Globe Jail Saturday night.
I saw that.
And when we walked into the cell to look at the articles found in the cell, clearly the EVP says Tony be dead. And I'm thinking, okay, is that from a prisoner who didn't like that we were investigating? Was that because there were cigarettes on the table?
And you need to quit smoking.
And your mind just starts going crazy when you hear stuff, and especially from EVPs, as to who they're directed at, why they're directed. So totally understand that.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. So that brings us to the next one, which looks like this was a California theater, and it is titled Something Over.
Oh, yeah. Okay. So we have done this place 10, 20 times. It's like once a year, if not twice a year. Old theater. Will Rogers, he's a comedian cowboy. And I guess he hung out at this place a lot. So
Wow.
everyone goes there thinking Will Rogers is going to talk to me, but we usually get everybody but Will Rogers. So, it's like you go to the Ginny Wade house in Gettysburg, you get other people, but not necessarily Ginny Wade, So,
nobody wants to haunt where they worked.
So true. But that's a great point, Katie, because that happens all the time. I mean, you'll hear about a haunted location and a particular ghost that haunts it, and all these stories about people seeing her or experiencing her, and then you go and you get every other voice, every other name, but the one they're saying is the one haunting. So yeah.
I try not to shut down the focus so that it's only the one. I mean, you got to be open to who else, a whole other history is going on here as well as that particular story.
So true.
Back to the theater, we're always getting something there. We've got quite a few strange things happening there, but we kept seeing something in the dressing rooms. The staircases go lower floor up to the second floor, up to the third floor. And the third floor is creepy. I don't know what's going on up there, but we kept seeing and hearing shadows and noises and stuff. And we're talking about maybe going up there and stuff. And then the spirit speaks up, I think, joining our conversation.
All right. Let me play that for the audience. And here it comes. That's a quick one, but
do you want to?
Yeah,
that was fast.
Yeah, let me play that one more time because that one does come up really quick. Let the audience hear it again, and here it is. Yeah, but it's that's amazing, and it's really great when you get EVPs that
we love EVPs.
Yeah, EVPs are one of our most favorite things to do, but when you can get one that's a Class A and nobody disputes what it says and you can hear it clearly and everyone agrees, that's just amazing. When there was nobody there who said it, when there was no one else around, that's fascinating to me even after a decade of doing this, and those are great, Katie, just great.
No, go ahead.
I was going to say, the whole world sort of opened up. I used to just have the recorder, but once I hooked in the live headphones, real time, then I was stopping much more often and saying, hold on, what was that? Hold on. Otherwise, not hearing them before with just the recorder in the hand, you go home, you listen later on. But doing those short EVP sessions when you're listening back has been more productive for us, because I would rather the spirit think there's a possibility that we can interact right now, real time, than, I'm kind of frustrated with you living people. You walk around, you ask me questions, but you never acknowledge what I've said. You go home and you listen,
Right. Come back maybe 6 months later if they're lucky, and by then...
right.
That's a good point.
Yeah, so when you're hearing that, in the moment, whoa, hold on, and play it back, so...
That's amazing.
That's very cool. So, are you using a special kind of recorder, or just one with an audio output to plug headphones in?
My current baby is an Olympus.
Okay.
Digital.
Okay.
Something or other. Now, I've seen the ones with the outside mics and they point in different directions and stuff. Right. I find that everyone should test drive 3 recorders, and you will find that one works for you for some reason so much better. So what works for my team member, it's not working for me, but this one, my gosh, I don't know why. And I don't know what it is about these recorders.
Maybe you have a good mic on that recorder, because some of the...
True, there are recorders with better mics than others, but right. I agree with what she said completely, because I probably have 8 different recorders, and we've got Tascam, we've got Sony, we've got small tiny digital ones, we've got ones with fancy mics like crazy, but there is probably 1 or 2 that are my go-to ones every single time, because they're reliable. I know they work. I know that their recording levels are satisfactory to capture EVPs. And you're right. Half the interaction with the spirits is through whatever device works. The connection goes 360 degrees. So whatever device you're using has got to work for you. And then it works for communication with the spirit. So I completely agree with that.
Just like mine, I have also Tascam. You have one, but it doesn't really work for me. I always use my cell phone because I get great EVPs, straight EVPs on my phone.
Yeah, that's very true. Yeah. Yeah.
Right. And I've got 4 recorders. This is my main one. I've got another second favorite one, and then the other 2, they're around here somewhere, getting dust.
We're the same way. I think Audra we got 2 $29 recorders off of Amazon that work phenomenal. I mean, they're crappy little cheap recorders. They work great.
I love them.
And she just absolutely loves them. We catch some great EVPs. And then I use an app called Rev on my cell phone that was free. And I get a lot of good stuff on that too. So it all depends.
Yeah.
My second favorite was $29 at Walmart. This one was like 170 something, and the other one was $29.
Yeah.
That's my second go-to,
Yeah, two of my favorite ones because I bought 2 of them, and they were like, I don't know, $21.
You have that real-time recorder from
that
Gary
thing was expensive. Gary Gelka's real-time EVP. I barely used that thing, and that thing was expensive, but yeah, it's what you have a preference with. There's no doubt about it. But
yeah, if it's working, then keep working it.
That's all that matters.
Yeah.
So true. All right. Well, let's move on to another EVP because these are fascinating. The next one I have is titled "The Grand Terrace Home," and what can you tell us about that? The title of it is Southern You Will.
Southern You Will?
You know what? Maybe it's just You Will. Maybe the...
Oh, it's a Southern voice. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
You will... You want me to say the last word? You want me to tell everyone the last word?
Sure. It doesn't matter. They're going to get to hear it here very shortly.
You will survive.
Yeah.
So Grand Terrace is a city, a home that we investigated, and this is another 1900 2-story, old house. I don't know why we get those. They're great though. And the woman knew we were coming, but just didn't get the home prepared. She's like, "Oh, let me finish with the dishes. Let me clean up the living room." And that was okay. It's okay. It's okay. Leave it be. Go sit down. And then we were investigating, and her son showed up. He's probably about 20 with 2 of his friends, and they were just dark energy. Just as a medium intuitive, I had to shield from, I don't know what they do, but and it just shut down the whole investigation. And then I said to her, they're trying to be quiet in the kitchen, but it's really kind of disruptive. Do you want us to come back? And she says, "No, I'll get rid of them." The minute they leave, this Southern voice comes through and tells me you'll survive. And so it's kind of like, oh, that's an interesting, statement after that. And I had on the headphones, so it's kind of like, what was that? So I was able to respond to it.
Wow. All right. Well, let me play that for the audience, and here it comes.
See when it goes up and down. See, and that was kind of the situation I was having, and I just talked.
Oh, I turned on my camera.
Oh, okay. No, something talked.
Wow, that was really, really, really good, and yeah, you can't miss that.
Yeah, so Southern does that like a previous owner of the house, even though it was in California. Who knows if they're from the South and they moved there, owned it, strolled on through,
Right.
But it was so interesting that when these 2 sons got there, you could feel the spirits leave. Like
Oh, wow.
Wow.
The spirits are leaving. Like, we don't have anything to do with those guys. Oh, you know. It's like, they're not here anymore, you know. And so I got to tell the lady, we'll come back. Because you could just feel like and Chris could pick up on this with the sensitivity, the energy shifts. You can feel it. Yeah. It's like, yeah.
You can almost feel the energy leave the room.
Yes.
It's weird. You can see them. You can just feel it walk by and just exit. The energy just disappears, and you can almost feel the energy as it goes a certain direction. It's an interesting feeling.
Right. And, it helps for investigations when you feel it either coming in, this is a good area to be, or leaving. You can say, they're not here anymore, and stuff. And that was definite at that house. They were there, they left. And it was like, well, we can try and send the boys away. And that worked. They came back immediately. So,
wow.
Yeah.
All right. So the next one I have looks like Idlewild, California. And this one's titled, I like this room.
Okay, this is my little spirit friend. Her name is Jane. She probably has told me the most about passing over, and she'll say, well, I'm not allowed to share that with you, but I can tell you this. And she answered like 45 minutes of questions one day. It's at a hotel.
Wow.
Yeah. It's at a hotel up in the mountains, and Jane is seen there often. They're trying to figure out, did she used to live in town? What is her connection to this hotel? No one's figured it out. But she's there, and she finally opened up to us, started liking us, and started answering a lot of our questions. And this is another location that we did once a year, if not twice a year, for years. And so she's usually upstairs in these two rooms in particular. And I asked her one day, I said, Jane, could you come on down with us? You're never downstairs with us. And so as I went down the stairs, I opened up a door to go in another guest room because the hotel was empty on this day. And she speaks out and says, oh, I like this room. Like she's never seen it.
She's never seen it before. All right, well, here is that clip, and it's coming now.
Oh, here's another nice one. Oh, look at what they give at the shower with this.
Okay, another real quick one. Let me play that one more time. Gives our audience an opportunity to hear it again where they know where it's being said. So here it comes.
Oh, here's another nice one. Oh, look at what they give at the shower with this.
Just amazing EVPs, no doubt
Very
about
amazing.
it.
Yeah, and it's funny because they always give you glimpses into the way a spirit thinks or what they do in their downtime when they're not being investigated. And we know she hangs out in those two rooms upstairs, but to walk into that room after probably being at this hotel over 50 years and to say, oh, I like this room, it sounds like, have you never come down here,
Yeah,
so
never thought of it that way, but you're right. I mean, what a shocking response from somebody like you said who's been in there for what'd you say, like 50 years?
Yeah. It's like, you think of them as going all over the place, on different days, different hours, but
or maybe that was his way of communicating with you that, hey, if you want to talk with me more, this is the room that I like. You're going to hear more from me here. Maybe that's him just letting you know this is where I hang.
Yeah, that could be possible too. That could be very possible.
That's a great point, Chris, and that is a possibility. And yeah, it's reading between the lines. Sometimes you're not. Sometimes the answers are so straightforward, it's like taking a brick to the forehead. But other times, yeah, there might be some anomalous verbiage in there that you're trying to decipher, what exactly was the meaning behind that, which we just talked about. So you could be right, Chris.
So, hey, I got a quick question from Debbie Isaacs, one of our watchers, one of our people tuning in here. She wants to know, and this is probably a question for all of us. She said, I'm a member of a paranormal team in Indianapolis. We take our investigations very seriously. But if I'm being honest, I wouldn't mind going somewhere that would actually scare me. Any suggestions of a place like that in the Midwest? There is a lot.
Oh, Limp House in St. Louis, Missouri. It's a restaurant now, but LEMP.
Limp House?
Yeah, Limp House,
Limp
I think.
House, yeah, that's one. The other one, a Bel Air House.
Which is, it'd be close to Indianapolis. It'd be just about a 5-6 hour drive for her.
Yeah, that one would be close.
What is the name of there's the old insane asylum that's right outside of Detroit. What is the name of that? They did it on Destination Fear. I always forget the name of that house.
Yeah, it's right on the tip of my tongue. I'm drawing a blank.
Not the
Trans-Allegheny?
No, Trans-Allegheny's more
West
towards
Virginia.
Yeah, this was the asylum, right, Chris?
Yeah.
Yeah. The name's eluding me. I'll think of it though. But as I think of it, let's move on to Katie's next one. That
was a good question from.
Yeah, no, that was a great question. But those would be some of our recommendations because there's some great places in the Midwest, and there's probably hundreds that I'm not thinking of off the top of my head. But the Midwest seems to have a conglomeration of haunted locations, and some of them have a pretty dark history to them. So,
Bachelor's Grove Cemetery.
Oh yes, outside.
That's a good one.
Yeah, that's a great one. Outside of the Chicago region, or not Chicago. Yeah, outside of Chicago. Absolutely terrifying stories of investigators having gone there and some fantastic captures. So that's an excellent recommendation as well.
Yeah, thank you, Deb.
Okay, so the next one I have, and I'm not sure how to pronounce this, Feline, California?
Spell it.
P-H-E-L-A-N.
P-L-A-N?
P-H-E-L-A-N.
Oh, Feline.
I said feline.
Of course, Phelan. It's up by Barstow and Victorville, halfway from Riverside to Vegas.
Oh, okay.
On 15 going north.
Yes. Out in no man's land.
Yep, know exactly where that's at.
Now, is this an audio or a video? Because we did have I sent you both, one of each. So what do you got?
I didn't see a video for this particular location, so this one's audio. In fact, I think the rest of them I have here are all audio.
Okay.
But this one's titled "We'll Be Here Soon."
Okay. This is a man that he and his father purchased the property and built the backyard up to be a Western Hollywood studio, and lo and behold, Hollywood used it after they told Hollywood, look what we've done. So their whole backyard looked like, you could film Tombstone there or something.
Wow.
And so they had a saloon. Oh, my goodness. They had a saloon and pharmacy and the horseshoe guy, blacksmith.
Yeah.
It was a whole little village in his backyard. And so an actor, when he had passed away, asked if he could be buried in this man's backyard. And he said, yeah. So he had a fake cemetery, except one of the graves was real.
Wow.
Then then the owner's father passed away and he wanted to be buried in the backyard. And so he said, ever since Dad passed away, it's just gone nuts out there. So we got all kinds of activity out there, just so much. In the saloon, in the pharmacy, I can't think of what that would be called, apothecary or something.
Apothecary, yeah.
In all the fake locations, there was stuff going on everywhere. And so this is one of the ones that we caught in the saloon, I believe.
All right, so let me play that for our audience, and here it comes.
In the boiler room, my stomach's growling again. Did you just whisper? Wait a minute. You said my stomach's growling again. He spoke, and you did not whisper right after that?
I did not.
Oh, big time tag. I just got...
Wow.
Nice.
Again, just great AVPs, Kd. I mean, that's just it's incredible to hear them when they're that pronounced. But yeah, you can clearly hear that voice in between, and just fascinating. Yeah, absolutely fascinating.
Again, you have to wonder, what are they responding to? They're responding to us. Is it an announcement? Is it a message?
Right.
Are they talking among themselves?
Yeah.
Is it a loop? I mean, it could be, just residual.
Right.
Right.
Yeah. Can't tell.
Unfortunately, until we can scientifically prove how spirits can talk, which is probably going to be long after we're all gone.
That's true.
But we'll have the answer prior to that happening anyway, because once we're gone, we'll know. So.
Right. All right, so I'm going to jump to the next one, just looking at the clock. This one I'm going to play twice because it's very quick. But this one's from San Diego, and it's called German and Food.
Oh, I love this one. Okay, can I tell you real fast?
Sure.
Yes.
Okay, everybody loves the Whaley House. The Whaley House. Okay, put the Whaley House on hold and get over to the William Heath Davis house, because it is so haunted. It makes the Whaley House look like, maybe. It's just nonstop spirits the whole time you're there. So there's, in the attic is Carl, a POW. He's German.
Oh, wow.
We had one girl host us who unlocked the house for us and stayed with us all night till we left. And she goes in there every weekend with either a tour or a group private investigation. So it was just me and one other girl up on the attic, which is technically the 3rd or 4th floor. And every other team member, there's only 5 of us there. So we had 4 girls and 1 guy. So the other 2 girls and guy were down on the 1st floor. So we got no sound. And the girl that was hosting for us said, "Oh, Carl, I brought the other ghost a hamburger. I should have brought you some food." And we're saying, "Oh, he probably wants German food." And then he pipes in and says, "German food." Wow. And we heard it audible. We heard it.
Oh, audible. Awesome.
Yes.
All right, let me play that. This one's really quick, so I will play it more than once, but here it comes.
Oh, Carl, I can bring you some German food.
All right, let me play that one more time. Here it is.
Oh, Carl, I can bring you some German food.
Yeah, without a doubt, you can hear him.
Hear
you can hear that's incredible, and the response is directly right after you saying, "Should I bring you? You bet you'd like some German food," and then boom, right there.
Perfect example of an intelligent response. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's helpful, because it kind of like when you go to investigation, you may have a night where you don't know if they're interacting with you directly, and then you have a night like this where you feel it's leaning way over towards they're definitely talking to you. What you said they're talking about and stuff. Right.
Yeah, and it clearly indicates intelligent spirit versus a residual haunting, because when you asked a question specifically about a very specific subject and you get an answer that
direct answer to your question,
right, which with involving the food conversation that was going on, that's fantastic. Just fantastic.
Well, that's one of the most thrilling pieces of evidence that we get as paranormal investigators, is when you get a direct response. That not only means that it's intelligent, but not only can you hear him, but he can also hear you, which means you can create a pocket of communication sometimes there and just keep the evidence flowing. And that's phenomenal.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
for
true. So true. Okay. I think we got time for a couple more. This one's labeled Chino, and it says, "I like your tone."
Let's see.
Chino Renee is what.
Oh yeah, Renee's house. that one was kind of a strange house. We had a single mom, 2 daughters that were 13 and 15, and it ended up being a couple spirits there, kind of created in a short version. Some good, some not so good and stuff. But when we were investigating there, that just came out as one of our better Class A EVPs. And this was after I gave a reading to the daughter. Their father had passed away. And the whole time I'm investigating, the dad is like, okay, I've been trying to watch over the girls and let me, tell them this, tell them that. So finally I had to get him off my back. I had to give her the reading. And then right after I'm done, we pick up this EVP. So who knows, could be referring to us.
Right. Yeah. Very, very possible. But here is that audio. And again, that one's really quick. I'm going to play it one more time. But yeah, no doubt. That's what they're saying, and you can clearly hear that. So again, just another fantastic EVP, Kd, that you've captured, and those are, it's so much fun when you can get something that clear and be able to, without any concern about what's being said, but that everyone can listen to it and say, yep, and agree. That's what was said. That's amazing.
And listening back when you're investigating a place for 2-3 hours and you have to go listen back for 4 to 6 hours, just making sure you haven't missed anything, or let me replay that 7 times to get kind of clear on what they're saying and stuff. You hear voices, and then you hear voices that are more electronic, clicky.
Right.
Right. There's like a different dimension to the different EVPs that will come through. Some have air and breath to them,
Right.
And
right.
Like they've manifested much more stronger or something, and then others will be like, but they're words,
Yep.
And that's what I'm straining with my headphones. I know I can get this, I know I can get this one.
I know that feeling very, very well. All right, so the next one I'm going to play, this is the one, Robert Hyland and you, I think, and it says, Todd, come up.
Yeah, Todd is a team member, and he was having oppressive feelings at this house, and it was a father with 2 younger kids, single dad with kids, and he was feeling badly. And so I think this thing just didn't like men. So Todd gets in there, and he feels like he's being touched and chased and followed and everything. And then it's a 2-story house, and he says, I'm not going upstairs. And right after that, I capture this EVP. It's, Todd, come on up. It's like, oh.
All right. Well, let me play that for our audience. Here it is. All right. I'm going to play that one more time. Yeah, very, very cool. Very, very cool. Those are fascinating group of captures. Everything from, the White House and everything that was captured there, and
phenomenal evidence.
Yeah,
phenomenal.
Just a great job, Kd. And I know that we've called you in even on some of the investigations we were doing to get a second opinion from you, and we think it's great what you're doing in the paranormal field and have been doing for some time now, and just fantastic. Want to just tell you we appreciate what you've done and what you've shared, and
we're neighbors.
Yes, we are. I didn't know you were.
For at least 8 more days. Yeah,
that's right.
Yeah, that's so cool.
No, we should investigate together.
Yeah, we should. COVID to go away, but yeah, we definitely need to do that. I mean, it would be fun. It's always fun to learn new things from other groups. It's fun to share experiences and investigate together. And I'm sure once this COVID thing passes, we'll have plans to hit
right after November 3rd.
Yeah, after the elections, right.
After the elections.
But yeah, we gotta have you come down to the
Copper
Canyon Paranormal Research Center one of these
Absolutely.
days. It's
absolutely.
Katie, you would absolutely fall in love with that place. With you being a medium, you are absolutely going to fall in love with that place. That is one place I am going to miss.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's got some amazing qualities to it, and I can't speak for what Chris feels because we're not sensitive, but we know what we've captured.
I'm sensitive.
Well, you're very sensitive, but not in this manner.
I
know. I'm with you, Cherie.
But anyway, Katie, we wanted to say thank you for coming on the show.
What I love about the show, all our guests, they present a great evidence. And thank you for sharing.
Yeah, thank you so much, Katie. And I'm sorry I couldn't play more of them.
It's fun, and I love watching the other shows with Ron and Lourdes and the other people on here and stuff.
They're watching right now.
Yeah, they are. Well, thank you.
Yeah,
they're the connections that are made. Everyone talks about para-unity, but shows like this definitely help highlight what the great things people are doing in the paranormal field and creates connections and all sorts of other things. So we just wanted to say thank you for coming on, for taking the time to share those clips. Those were fantastic. And I just need to do one more plug. And that plug is for the Dark Zone. If you're not familiar with the Dark Zone, back in May, they did a week-long, 24-hour, 7-day-week live broadcast from the Conjuring House, which Cherie and I got to be part of. It was a great event. While they're
Corey and Jennifer,
they're with Corey and Jennifer, right? They're doing another one August 26th through the 31st. Yeah. It's a 4-day live event. We get to be on it again, but this one's sort of a cross between paranormal and murder investigation, because it's probably one of the most historical murders where 2 people were butchered and nobody was convicted. So if you get a chance, go to thedarkzone.tv. Tickets are available to buy online, and you'll be able to watch that. Highly recommend it. It's going to be a great event. But then back to Katie. Thank you again so much. Really appreciate you being on here and taking the time. Okay. Chris, you want to give our closing line?
Real quick. Audra and I will be out next week and the following week in our move to Charlotte. So who does Tony have filling in for us next week and the following?
The next 2 weeks on Wednesday, Ron
Yacovetti
and
right, Ron and Lourdes
Gonzalez will be our co-hosts. So looking forward to that too. Going to miss Chris and Audra while they're out. But as far as the show goes, the show will go on without a hitch. And if you've seen any of the past shows where Ron and Lourdes were either our guests or a co-host, they also do a great job and should be exciting, some exciting shows. So
Ron and Lourdes are phenomenal, but don't like them too much because we're back on the 9th.
Sorry, guys. I love you.
Have a safe move, you guys.
Thank you, guys.
Oh, thank you.
All right.
Well, to everybody out there watching, we will see you in 2 weeks. And remember, be nice to Tony and Cherie next week and stay haunted.
All right. Good night.
Bye, guys.
Good night, everyone. Good night, Katie. Thank you.
Thank you.